All right, howdy, friends. Hey, I appreciate you guys checking out some of this non-guitar in hand uh, stuff that I've been doing here lately, just a little bit, just to share some thoughts. Just got back to the house here on the back porch from playing the Underdog tonight, and I've been in the studio all day with Brett Papa filming a little bit, and then all day tomorrow too. So, man, that stuff can be a little. It's not hard work, but it's tedious and can be mentally taxing by the end of the day. And then to go to a gig, there's two ways that can go. One, it can be great because you've been playing guitar all day, and you can kind of get into the groove, and things can kind of roll along. Other times you're just fried, and you don't know how it's going to go. You're almost just taxed mentally a little bit on it. So here's the funny thing about that is like tonight, got to the gig, there wasn't a whole lot of people there. You know, we play every Monday night, so sometimes the crowds are awesome, and a lot of you guys were there tonight, and I appreciate that always. And here's the funny thing about the live gig thing is, and when you show up, and there's been nights where I've shown up at the Underdog and I was like, man, how am I going to do this? I am fried completely. And so, but the funny thing is no matter how bad you feel, or you're like, man, I don't know, there's not many people here, you know, whatever's going through your mind or how you're feeling. And the minute you step on stage and you tune your guitar up and you get a little sound out of the amplifier, and I've been using my old Pro Reverb and my little pedal board, which is a lot of fun with the Lex, the Strymon Lex for the Leslie sound, and the Strymon Cloudburst for a little kind of that synth reverb kind of thing that it does, which is, I think, is very cool. We just, playing around with that a little bit, but just some fun stuff. Usual rig, Telecaster, and all that. But funny, man, you as soon as you start playing, all those other things that you're thinking about go out the window, and you're there for the right reason, and you're playing your instrument, and you got a great rhythm section, and you're about to play your own music or whatever, your own arrangements, and it's a total blast. But the funny thing is, I can tell, for me personally, if it's going to be what I consider a good night, which means that I'm not thinking about anything and my hands are working good, and things are flowing, and one idea to the next, and that's what I consider to be like a really fun night. And so I always say the same show, 1 or 1,000, doesn't matter how many people there, we're still going to play to our 150%, because music is meant to be treated with a lot of respect. And so there's always a lot of bullshit in between, jokes and stuff that we say on the microphone and just joking around and stuff. But when it comes down to the music, it's serious, and it's time to rock hard. So, but what I was going to mention is, I can usually tell within the first couple notes if I'm going to have what I consider a good night or not. And like I said, man, just to not be thinking about it and let things flow and let ideas come and develop an idea, and be able to play in a way that is coming to you from some other place, and just getting out of your mind and kind of going. A lot of times I'm not worried about putting on a show or my idea of connecting with the audience is just playing our best, and hopefully that translates. But like tonight, I started with the first song and was able to connect a few ideas. I'm like, okay, man, I think this is feeling pretty good. I kind of black out and stare at the wall and just try to get into playing music and lock it in with the rhythm section and thinking about these things. I'm not really thinking about any music theory or anything like that. I'm just strictly thinking about playing with good tone and good feel, and really locking in, and we're there with the trio. I mean, it's awesome. It's a blast. And so I just wanted to share a couple post-gig thoughts. And so man, that is the happy place for me, is just completely, out of your mind, not thinking about anything. You're not overthinking, trying too hard, or trying to do something, and it's fun to take chances. I don't know many of you, if many of you know this or not, but I toured a long time with Jerry Douglas. And so I was lucky to be able to play for 6 or 7 years with one of my biggest heroes. He's the greatest dobro player on the world, and in the world, and you might know him from playing on all the Alison Krauss stuff and many, many, many records with Tony Rice, and just a legendary musician and a great guy. We just always, every time I see Jerry, we just laugh together and just have a great time. But I toured with him for a long time and played on a bunch of his records. And Sam Bush is the one that got me that gig with Jerry. Sam gave Jerry my phone number, and I was down at Todd Sharp's amp shop, and I got a phone call. And I'm the opposite of everybody else. I always answer the phone when I don't recognize the phone number, because I figure it's some work or some person that I don't know, and so I picked up the phone, and Jerry goes, "Hey man, this is Jerry Douglas," and I almost dropped the phone. I'm like, "Holy shit!" And he goes, "Man, would you want to play guitar with me sometime?" And I went, "Absolutely." And so, long story there, without getting to one day, but he's the one that really kind of let me know, without saying anything, that it was okay to just take some chances, man. He would push us in that band, solo, as far out as you wanted to go, push the envelope, take some chances, try some new ideas, make some mistakes. He would make some mistakes, because he was always pushing the envelope. And so we toured with Paul Simon and opened up for Paul Simon for like 3 months. Got to know all the guys, Steve Gadd, all the Africans in that band, Vincent Ngini, that has since passed away, and all those amazing musicians in that band. And we'd be opening up for Paul. We'd be at Radio City Music Hall or the Greek Theater or some amazing venue with a packed house, and we'd be pushing the envelope and hanging right on the edge of disaster at every time, at every moment. But then it kept it exciting, and it really in a way kind of maybe fast forwarded and excelled the learning, for us. And so, all these young guys out there playing with Jerry, man, I mean, we were, it was challenging music, always pushing the envelope. And so that, to me, is the beauty of playing in this trio with our own music, and just, relying on the guys in the band, the bass player and the drummer, that are going to have your back. They're going to be there to support you no matter what you do. We're sticking to these arrangements, but within those arrangements, there's improvisation and communication and new things happening all the time. And so just a really, really satisfying, even on a slow night like tonight, which, like I said, we play every Monday night. And so some nights are epic and everything's hitting on all cylinders. And some nights you got to kind of work for it a little bit, which is okay. And so I thought that since I'm out here, sometimes I have to grab these little moments of a couple hours where I'm by myself, before getting up early the next day and going and having a full day with Brett filming or whatever it is. And so I'm back here. I'm out here on my back porch having a late night little beer, a Coors Light, Colorado Kool-Aid. And so sometimes you got to head for the mountains. And so I call this I'm having a one-man party on my back porch. And so I just thought, man, we're having so much fun with this YouTube channel. I thought I would just get on here and share a little post-gig commentary. But it's just the thing about music that's really fascinating is it doesn't matter if you have the flu. It doesn't matter how exhausted you are. As soon as you start playing, there's some kind of adrenaline that comes in and kicks your ass and into the next gear. And it's always fun. It never really feels like you're phoning it in. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, when you're playing your own music and you're not going through the same motions of playing with a like some pop country band or something where you're just playing the parts on the record every night, that to me is not really, it's you're still playing music for a living, and I'm not saying it's better or worse, but where I've landed is that it's just so satisfying to even go up the street to the Underdog every Monday night and just play these songs. It's just very, very satisfying to me. I'm in a very happy place. We've got Berklee College of Music coming up on July the 15th, followed by 16th and 17th at the bitter end with the trio. Hopefully we're going to have a really special guest for that next round of gigs up in New York City. Mark your calendars for that. But I'm kind of rambling on here, but I just wanted to share some of those thoughts. Thanks for the kind comments on Otis Gibbs. Man, he's great to reconnect with him after all these years, and I say reconnect. I don't know if we ever have officially connected, but we've got a ton of mutual friends that go back years and years and years. God, what's the guy's name? Phil Kaufman, the Road Mangler. He was at my birthday party and Otis's. He said that he had his 50th birthday party, not too long ago, and that the Road Mangler showed up, and he was the guy that road managed for everybody from the Rolling Stones to Emmylou Harris for years and years, and everybody in between. He's worked with everybody, and his tag line is, Road Mangler, Phil Kaufman. He goes, "I move people, not equipment." And so he's just a total character. He lives right up the street, and he's the one that stole Graham Parsons' body and took it to Joshua Tree. And so there was movies made about him, and he's got a great book, and he's just a total character. Been around the Hells Angels, and has just done unbelievable, the craziest stories and most interesting guy on the planet. But me and Otis have a lot of those friends in common. So it was great to talk on the phone with him for a long time yesterday, and just ramping into another good week. Some lessons, guitar immersion experiences. And then a great gig Saturday with Sean Camp, who I cannot wait to play with. If you have not checked out Sean Camp's music, you got to check him out. Another world-class songwriter. And to add to that, and I'm almost done here because I got to go to bed at some point, but I'll go in here and watch the latest episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then I'll probably crash. But I was going to say, Sean Camp, Pat McLaughlin, and Big Al Anderson, along with Michael Rhodes and Greg Morrow, had a band called the World Famous Headliners, and they've got a couple records. Man, if you want to hear some really unique music and some great guitar playing, and just some fantastic singing and well-crafted, very unique music, check out the World Famous Headliners. They have some records out. So check those guys out. Just wanted to check in, do a little post-gig commentary, and I swear in the next couple of days I'll have some more guitar stuff for you. The channel's growing great. It's a great community. You know who you are. Thanks a million. I know these videos have been a little serious, but we'll do some fun stuff coming up soon. I got some interviews of some friends of mine that have just moved into the neighborhood. I want to get them on to do some interviews and just some fun stuff. But guys, really appreciate it. You know who you are. Like I said, some of you guys were there tonight, and we had guys from Switzerland and Brazil tonight. Every week at the Underdog, we've got people from around the world that come in. So it's just amazing. We're lucky to be here. I'm very fortunate to be able to do this and make a living at it. And I'm in a nice, sweet spot, I feel, and we're working hard. There's more to come. We're going to keep growing this thing that we got. And just, man, thank you guys so much. Like, again, you know who you are. Thank you. All right, guys. Cheers.